part owner.
Oh, that shit just sounded like somebody at a dealership be like, "Hey, I'm signing for this shit too, bro." Like, what do you? I'm just one. Yeah, I'm co-signing for this shit. All right, they can hear us.
J-Pie warning.
J-Pie warning. Yes, shout out to J-Pie. I haven't talked to him in a minute. Hope he's good.
I miss him.
Right. Well, what's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast number 31. 31. And our official last episode on Twitch. So we're just going to throw it right off the bat. If you guys want to catch future episodes live, follow the Bearded Wolverine on Kick. And then they'll still be on YouTube after the fact on my channel. But if anything, we got quite a little bit to talk about. We had a nice little spicy dev stream earlier. A lot of conversations have spurred from that. So we're definitely going to get into those. But before we go too deep, let's go ahead and get our guests introduced here. If we could actually start off with Jolster, then Chickens, and then we'll go Medkit, Joey, Bearded, and myself. Tell people a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'm Jolster23. I am the creator and head of the Prime Championship Circuit, PCC. Old Paragon player, actually bought the Founders Pack, so played it for quite some time, and now we're here with Pred. Super excited.
You're a Pink Prime type of guy. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I
see
Pink
you.
Prime. That's right. Yeah.
I see you, bro. Okay. Spicy, appreciate you being here. And your Chickens?
Hey, I'm More Live Chickens. I stream on Twitch very irregularly at this point. I play Predecessor. I played Fault. I played Paragon. I love this style of game. I put a lot of hours into it. And I'm just here to talk about the game I like.
Nice. Appreciate you having you here.
What up, everyone? I'm Medkit. I make YouTube videos on Pred. I don't know how, but I've been uploading YouTube shorts every day, and I'm still going. And recently I've been streaming on Kick. So yeah, just a Pred content creator. And Chickens, I got a question for you.
What's up?
All right. So I want you to rank your ADCs from least favorite to most favorite.
On Pred right now?
Right now. Oh, well, all time.
All time?
Paragon, yep.
I think it's probably going to be similar. Let's see, probably from least favorite to most favorite?
Yes.
Okay, Murdoch.
Get him off the show. Drop him.
Bro, this said Murdoch first shot?
Yeah.
Damn.
He likes Grim over him? He likes Wraith over him? Like, get that out of here.
I'm surprised Grim wasn't at the bottom, bro.
Wraith is a mid laner. No, probably Murdoch, Grim. I'm not even putting Wraith on the list. Murdoch, Grim, Revenant, Sparrow, Twin Blast, Kira.
What about Yin?
All right.
Yeah, what about Yin?
Wait. Drongo, then Kira.
What about Yin?
She's a melee hero. Come on.
What?
She counts, I guess. I didn't really play Yin in Paragon, so I don't really have an opinion on her.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well,
that list was lost when he said Murdoch was the first one. So, all right.
I was surprised when Grim wasn't his first name that popped up, but Jolster. What's your favorite role, bro?
Favorite role? In Paragon, I really didn't have one. I just ran all over the place, but it's mid now.
Are you a fellow Phil gamer?
Yeah,
hold on. He said he's mid now.
Let's go.
He's mid now, though.
Yeah, he's a mid gamer now.
So, okay.
Yeah.
That face.
Okay. I guess rank your mid laners all time.
Mid laners all time. Well, most of them's already in the game. Obviously, Gideon. Gideon, Belica, yeah.
I see it in the chat.
Yeah. And then I'd say Gadget probably third, then Howitzer, and Morgesh is nowhere on the list because I don't even want to think about her back in Paragon.
Oof. All right.
Hashtag where's Jinx?
You said Gideon, then you said Gadget probably third. So who's second? I missed it.
Oh, Bellico was second.
Bellico was
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Did I miss it? I heard.
Well, you had all of us thinking it's like, who the fuck was second? It's like, yeah, right.
I didn't even know. I was like, hold on.
All right. Okay. All right. Joey?
Okay. Well, it's just yours truly back on the podcast. I do daily uploads over on YouTube. I do a mix of not only kind of like competitive games, showing up like how to really play hero well, but also do a lot of off-meta stuff. So last week I made a joke of I'll maybe do a Greystone support video, and yesterday I did a Greystone support video. So that's the kind of content creator I am over there.
All right. And if you run into a Greystone support, you know exactly who to blame, because he made it look good, more than likely. And somebody's gonna be like, I can be like Joey too.
This is viable. We can do this.
I mean, it can be viable. You play him like Steel. You just play defensively, and they try all in. You just all in back, and then
there you go.
There you go.
I do love that as soon as it was your turn to give your little shout out, your dog jumps up on the bed, sits there, and then when you're done with the shout out, your dog leaves. Like, all right, yep.
Brain, bro.
I'm gonna take the show here for a minute, then I'm gonna leave.
Actually, really funny.
All right.
That's adorable.
So, right? All right, what's going on, everybody? It's I, the Bearded Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder, excited to bring this last Twitch stream to you. On that note, if you type !kick in chat, it should still work. The link should pop up. It gives you the link for the Kick stream, and it shouts you guys out for all the support. So appreciate all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna officially switch over to Kick. I got tomorrow's stream. Will probably be my last stream on Twitch, and then we'll be going from Kick from there on out. But yeah, so any more episodes you want to catch with us live, that's where it's going to be. So that's going to be the best thing for you to do there. But other than that, I'm excited to start the adventure over there, but I'm also excited to get into this spicy episode because we got some spicy takes, I think, coming from at least three of us, I would say. I'm going to say at least 50% here. You'd be like, hot off the press.
Spicy? Never, bro. What do you mean? We're like the most mild-mannered, like cool-headed. I don't even know who you're talking about. Get this man out of here.
You know it.
Get him some sparkling water. He needs it. Holy shit. But what's up, guys?
Because I'm drinking Coors, it is sparkling water.
Oh,
I'm drinking sparkling water right now.
I will not make a comment. What's up, everybody? He is drinking very good water for sure. But what's up, guys? I am Windu, also known as Winduthemace. As of late, pretty much sticking to predecessor content as far as gaming goes. Been playing a little bit of X-Defiant, trying that out. So definitely subscribe to the YouTube, full-time YouTube as of late. So definitely show love there. But this here is the Predcast. If you guys don't know what the Predcast is, essentially we go over everything predecessor related. Could be latest updates, it could be tournaments that are coming up, anything related to predecessor. This is the place to find it. And specifically, we I'll be honest, in about 24 hours, we went from having a little bit to talk about to now it's like, hey man, I'm gonna be real with y'all. We got a little bit too much to talk about. Yeah. So, as you know, if Medkit doesn't say anything for 5 minutes in a row, it's because we're yelling at him. I'm kidding, bro. Much love. But yeah, so let's do this. Let's talk a little bit about PCC, because I'll be honest, I did read a comment as of late. I think it was on Twitter, actually. Somebody giving praise to PCC. They're like, yo, outside of PCC, outside of that competitive environment that people not only want to watch, but also participate, not a lot of people have a lot of like a want to play predecessor on a continuous basis, and PCC helps provide that to some people. Tell us what PCC is.
Well, I mean, PCC is it's a community-driven, community-built event. It's a nice tournament. We usually do 2 parts every other month with a group play involving about 16 teams, sometimes less, sometimes more. And it comes out to Elite 8 teams, and they come back in the finals and fight to the finish. And it's gotten better with each iteration, and the support's gotten better and better, and the teams have gotten better. So it's pretty good. And we still have that main focus of, helping, being part of the community, growing the community. That's why we add people like Joey and a few others like to our desk as analysts, because we need their input, and it's nice to give them another opportunity to get in front of people.
I see.
No, yeah. I was gonna say the same thing that Geronimo Jack said. Like you guys are definitely. I wouldn't say the single-handedly, but the part of it being. Geronimo Jack says PCC single-handedly holding the community and game up. I wouldn't say single-handedly, but I would say that you guys are a key cog in that situation, keeping at least the competitive scene available for people who are the competitive team. If you guys weren't here, you and Fang Booth, I think, are the other community event that's going on. And speaking of that, Fang Booth, anybody that's part of Fang Booth, hit me up in DMs. Let's get you on the show as well and let you promote your stuff as well. We've done PCC on here 3 times now, so let's get you guys on here to promote that as well. So between you guys, that's pretty much community events going on, but it's all community driven. It's not done by Predecessor or Meta Studios. But you guys do a great job in doing that and keeping the community involved with what's going on. So shout out to you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like, good job on the shout out with Fang Booth. We actually work alongside Akana, and like this Belgian was a part of our last event, helping us out as mods. So we'll be working with them a lot more in the future. I'm happy to see that. And I'm glad that we have the opportunity as a community to put these types of events together. Usually it's locked behind the devs, and it's kind of hard to get to. And I understand why they're not getting esports. I mean, a lot of people would argue it's early access. Like, why are we even doing this right now? But it's generating fun for the game. And that's just the main part of it, right? Is trying to get something out of it. Because we dealt with it in Paragon. It was only casual for 3 years. We got nothing for it. So, at least now we got something. And just keep it going until they finally get everything together and we can get that game that we hope that it's going to be.
Right. Yeah, bro.
I like watching it quite a bit. PCCs, I log in on Saturday or whatever and Twitch in the morning and watching it every time it's on.
Right.
I see a lot of names there from Fault that I really enjoy watching play, and yeah, it's really fun.
You probably recognized half of the worst timing then. Pablo with the sticks used to be I think it was Colombian Dash, I do believe, in Vault. Yeah.
Colombians in this now?
I didn't know he was playing the game. I haven't seen him live doing it. He's streaming Vault all the time.
Pablo with the sticks.
Yeah, Pablo with the sticks. Or Pablo Wazowski. He's gone by that during the turn. Yeah, he's won the past 2 finals as an ADC. And he's just super good at the game.
Yeah, I know.
He said, been there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Moving on now.
We've all experienced that. All those Fault people.
His reaction.
No, I mean, Colombian Dash is a great guy. Great. I love watching his streams. I learned a lot watching his streams. So great guy, but it definitely a pain in the ass to go up against. It's not fun doing that at all.
Now, do we?
He's gotten a penta in both finals.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Now, is there any PCC coming up that you can already kind of divulge, or any at least qualifying event?
Yeah, we already announced it. We actually have a $3,000 prize pool for our August event coming up. People keep attention to like our Twitter at PredPCC or on our YouTube. You also find it at PredPCC as well. But we'll be announcing signups here soon and getting ready for that. It's going to be really fun. It is going to be our first 2-day finals event. So I'm excited to try that out, get more games in there, get more, give a chance for the players and the teams to get on screen more, to get the broadcast more so people can get to know them. They deserve that opportunity. So we're trying to give that to them.
Speaking of, if there's a team that wants to participate, but they haven't participated before, they're not recognized, just people made a team, is there any specific way for them to apply? Like, how do they get involved into the trial games to kind of qualify?
Okay, yeah. So the group play is kind of like the qualifier for the finals. Actually, it is the qualifier for the finals. So if you're on our Discord when we do the announcement, even if you're following Twitter or something, we'll use our Discord link with it. You go into there. There's a special channel that you can go into. It goes to a Google form. You fill it out with your players, your in-game names and Discord names, everything else, so we can set you up on a team.
Okay. Now, you described what PCC was, and if you did describe this, just tell me you did, and I just missed it because I was reading chat. But what was you said you're the head guy with it. You're pretty much the creator of it, or one of the creators of it. What was your reasoning for creating it? Like, what made you want to, I want to create PCC?
Actually, it was, I played in the first Lob Lolly, not the one that Bad Timing won, but the one that Press Tab won. And I didn't really like the way that was ran. Like, just really a lot of confusion for players and stuff. And it was the first tournament, first event that anybody ran. So, I decided to put my money where my mouth was and start an event. And it eventually grew, and we added key pieces like choice plays, like Lance. Lance was in the first one from the get-go as a caster, never casting before, and he's fantastic. So it just so many pieces. Hot Sauce that does our graphic designs, been there since day one. Just a fantastic person. Never's asked for anything, just does all the work because he cares. And it's fantastic to have a group of people like that. I mean, there's about 20 of us in total.
What to say? Your guys' draft, bro. Like you guys drafted some heavy hitters, bro. Maybe unintentionally too towards the beginning, but like the team that you guys actually put together, whether it be on the commentating side, whether it be on the production side and everything, all you ever hear is great compliments. So major shout out to you.
Yeah, thank you. Like it's fantastic, and we hope to in the future move forward and use that across the community with everybody, and build something that we can all enjoy.
Well, speaking of that, this last tournament, we had our boy Joey was on there. You were part of this one, were you? With Joey, how'd that go for you?
Yeah, so essentially I was on the desk of analyzing the games and also the draft. I was with Moogie, and it was really a lot of fun. I think they did a really good job with the pairings, because I think me and Moogie are a very good complement, and All Dog with a fantastic host. And I think it was just really, really fun because there was a lot of passionate people trying to win the tournament behind the scenes. So it was just a really cool, unique experience, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah,
gonna do it again?
Lucky. It was probably one of our best ran events. Like I was actually just chilling at the end of it.
He said less chaos, more vibing, spicy.
Yeah, man. It was great. Everybody just worked together really fine, which was crazy because our group play prior to it, there was legitimately 4 of us left. Because people had emergencies and other things. So I was actually sitting on the desk, which is something I'd never do. Like I'm not a in front of the camera type of personality usually. So it was pretty fun to have. But
so for those of us that don't understand, when you say on the desks, that's the casters or
yeah.
What is on? Okay.
So it's the analyst desk. So it's where what Joey did this last time with Moogie. It's where our dog. It's where you always will see her hanging out, doing a great job as a host there. So it's where they kind of dissect the game. They talk about the game coming up. They handle the draft, and they really get into it and analyze it, so the casters can focus on casting the game.
Oh, okay. Got you. I understand. I'm picking up. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not. When it comes to the weekends, I'm not able to not that I'm not able to, but that's my family time. So I don't do a lot of watching of anything. So I haven't seen any of these PCCs. I hear all about them. I'm excited for them. So I didn't know what that desk was, but I have seen an Overwatch tournament before, and I've seen how they go to their desk, they'll talk about it, and then when they go to the game, then you got people, different people casting it. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like game day, like you got them talking about all everything.
There you go.
I mean,
right. When we're talking about Michigan beating Iowa, I got you.
Yeah. I'm sure as a Michigan fan, you're more familiar with it with the recent years. I mean, it's come a long way since Appalachian State, but I'm proud of you guys. I mean, TCU was a tough one, but you'll do fine. We'll come back.
I appreciate that. I'm trying to beat up Lance, and you're over here attacking me back. All right, I see how it is. All
hey, man, he's got to stand for his boy.
I know, yeah. Lance wanted me to.
Now, let's say if they did miss the broadcast, like Bearded was saying, that shit happens. I work on Saturdays all day. Where can they find VODs? Do you guys have those up, or is it more of a live only?
Oh, no. We put it all up on YouTube. The Prime Championship Circuit YouTube. You should be able to find it with the same handle as our Twitter at PredPCC. So we put all the VODs on there. We're going to try and put more content onto there as far as highlights and announcements and stuff. But yes, all the VODs go up there game by game so that you can watch, the full series as a playlist or, individually if you like.
I see. All right. Now, before we get into deep conversation, I want to ask you guys really quick, personally. This Greystone event that Predecessor kind of got, like they're gonna have going on here from the 23rd. Is it the 23rd? No, I'm sorry, not the 23rd. From the 16th to the 25th. Excuse me.
No, 16th to the 3rd. They boosted it.
Oh, they boosted it.
Made
Okay,
it longer.
thank you.
Yep.
16th to the 3rd. Now, how do you guys feel about this? Let me hear from Chickens first. How do you feel about
Does not
that?
matter to me at all. It is okay, if this happens in the background of my games, then I get it, whatever. It's I'm not actively playing Greystone. I'm not actively watching if there's a Greystone on the enemy team. Pretty much every match seems to have a Greystone for me, so I imagine I'll probably get whatever they're giving out, but it's literally just the furthest thing from my mind when I'm playing the game.
Now, is that just you being a carry main, or is that just like the event itself? Like, it doesn't, like those little icons, they don't necessarily incentivize.
I imagine if you are a Greystone player, this event is like pretty cool. You're gonna play Greystone, you're gonna try and win games, like you're gonna have fun with it, but like for any other role or anything else, the icons are cool. I mean, but to me, as someone who doesn't really play offlane in anything other than like Severog or a tank like Steel, if I play offlane, those are my picks. Like, I'm not gonna care the whole time. It's just like, okay, I'll get the icons because I play enough. It's gonna happen. So it's like, yeah.
All right, let me hear from Joey on this. What do you think about this as a solo main guy? How do you feel about it?
So I think the concept of this event is cool. Is you kind of see these kind of events a lot at the games, and of course I think this is their way also testing to make sure they're collecting that data right and able to like kind of compile that and reward people accordingly, right? But I guess the only critique I had, and I gave some feedback on it, was I kind of wish this event was not based on solely just wins, but based on the point system. So instead of being like 20 wins, it's 20 points, where if you win the game, it's 2 points. If you lose the game, it's 1 point, right? Because when you make something that's only a win requirement, then I think you get some people that can get more frustrated. It's not as fun when you say you have a bad night and you lost 3 games in a row and you didn't make any progress whatsoever, right? Whereas the point system, you'll still make some kind of progress, just not as fast, right? So it's kind of like my own critique. I wish they'd done that instead of just 20 wins only is the only way you can progress through the events.
Yeah, I think I'd like to add to that too, is like, it's part of the problem not having a UI either. I want to be able to track that. I'm not going to sit here and like mark down tick marks and everything else and be like, okay, well, I've won 20 games with one on my team. Now I've lost 20 games with one on my team. It's really hard to kind of track that. And it's like, you got to add a little bit of like gamification to that type of stuff. You have to trigger something in people's minds. So hopefully with a new UI, there's actual like a tracker there that you can keep track of so that it motivates you more to be a part of these events. Because I don't think the icons are too bad. I'm more of a fan of the Ruin one. But, I think that might be the biggest issue with it. I think these events can be fun. They just need to add more in-game excitement about it to get people to stay on.
That's a big deal for me too. The other thing about it is I don't like that it is like, if you lose 20 games with Greystone on your team, like, why would I ever want to lose a game? Like, I should always be striving to win. And if I am winning all my games, I'm never going to get this. Like,
well, the thing is, you're not going to win all your games. That's not going to happen.
That's for sure.
But this is just to it's to make sure you get something no matter what. Is really what it comes down to. As long as you partake in the, you pretty much, you should get it if you partake in 40 games, you're getting at least one, right? There's no way you don't, right? So you should at least get one. My issue with this, I like it. The icons are awesome. They're beautiful. The artist that did them did a great job. I think it's Vinx, Vinx, was what we found out in what the post that we'll talk about later. But shout out to them. Great job. I love it. But what I don't like about this one, especially compared to the last one, it gave you 2 heroes that you could play as. This one forces you, now you have to. The shitty thing about bringing out a new hero is now every time you're going to go up against that hero, or you're going to have him on your team, or you're going to have people fighting over him, right? This just prolongs that whole situation, and it just makes it unfun when you go into the draft, right? You're going in there, it's like, all right.
It almost helps ensure that there's a Greystone on each team almost every time.
Right. And it's like, I don't want a mirror match against a Greystone. So I'll go in like, all right, I'm picking. All right, well, I pick first. Well, I don't want to pick Greystone because I know for sure I'm going to get a Greystone against me. So let me pick Rux. All right, well, I'm going to pick last. Well, look, there's a Greystone on their team. Well, guess what? I guess I'll pick Rux, or I'll pick Crunch, or whatever. I'll pick somebody else because I just don't want to get to go against a Greystone mirror match. But this is like forcing that to happen. And that's what I don't like about it. Now, if you would have came out with, another like tank or whatever to go up against, hey, who can, have it be a tank battle, and this is, Greystone going against, it'd be like when Terra gets introduced, it would be perfect for them to do a Terra versus Greystone, event, and see which one can get. And if, like they did with Countess and Kira, have a Terra versus Greystone event, that'd be cool.
When you had Countess and Kira, only Joey was playing Countess. Let's be real. Like,
I mean, but you could. But the thing is, there are also 2 separate lanes. You're not putting a Countess unless you're Joey and you're playing her as a support or something, and you're making a video and you're showing people that it's viable. But you're not playing Countess. You're playing Countess mid or jungle, right? You're not playing like it literally. Hey, this is your lane. This is your lane. Again, with Greystone, you can play him jungle as well, and so you get him off lane of somebody. But that's the thing. It's like you don't know in the draft process if is that a jungle Greystone or is that an off lane jungle Greystone.
I'm not gonna lie. I see Greystone jungle 9% of the time. I don't know why. No one likes to do Greystone off lane from the games I try to play. I was trying so many games where I was like, I'm gonna put out a counter guide to Greystone because I think people find it helpful. But every time I try to do that, the Greystone jungle, so I just couldn't get that video out.
Now is
I mean,
better?
That's
is he
wild.
Better in jungle?
I mean,
I think so.
He's because he's kind of a lot like the Rampage in the sense that they're very hard junglers to kill. They're very good at diving. They're very good at like kind of contesting objectives because
and his clear is very good.
We have is like Fame Out and Crunch, and they kind of fall off in team fights, while Greystone is very good in team fights, and that's what junglers are at 9% of the time. So I think that's the main reason why he's getting pick up. Also, just kind of fun in the jungle too.
He doesn't do a good job blowing people up, and he has no lockdown. That's why I don't care for him on my team as a jungler, personally.
Yo, I fucking can't with Geronimo in the chat, bro. This man said, us Greystone players got the one brain cell. Chill out, bro. Like, there's a reason why it's better to jungle.
Seriously, you could put Greystone and Chimera players in a room together. Just let them go away at it.
They'll have the most fucking fun in the game, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah.
They're leaving the best reviews on Steam.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'll tell you this. My only issue, and we'll get into this earlier because they kind of touched on it on their dev stream. My only issue is I like the art. I actually love the art, regardless of both of the icons, right? I really, really am fucking tired of getting icons. Like, I get it. It's a little something to give us, like, cool, okay. At least last season, through enough experience over time or through a challenge, etc. Like, they saved the icons for the little Countess versus Kira, but then at the same time, they also had other stuff to at least give us a skin as an additional. Follow? And I know that we're gonna touch into it here, but I just really wish it was just something more than just an icon. At this point, I'm expecting an icon contest for the next year to be on a monthly basis. And I'm just gonna be like, another icon contest. Woo, let's add to the collection. Like, shit it just excited. Just a fucking icon. It's an icon that people can't see in game. Only my menu homies can see. Go ahead, Joey.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think they would love to actually give us different cosmetics. They're just quite not ready yet because they keep they mentioning like the UI, and I think a lot of the really cool cosmetics they want to give to us, they can't really do it until the UI is finished. So I think it's just one of those ones where we'll probably have this Greystone event, and then probably the next one after that, when the UI is complete, that's when I think we can expect to see a lot more cooler stuff. I guess I'm trying to say.
Hope so, fam.
Chickens.
Yeah, like that was another thing that I think this season is lacking. And Windu barely mentioned it was the leveling rewards. Like, did I miss it? Did they talk about anything for that for this season? Like,
No.
Are we getting platinum or anything for going over level 40? Like,
Nothing.
okay.
They said what they said is they're extending the season to help people get to level 40 or level 35. This one's 35. So you're good, Chickens. You're already there. You're I can't remember what it was. I pulled the road. It's on the roadmap.
I don't even remember.
So it's probably just some skin. I think it's a recolor skin. I think is what they said it was. I'll have to look it up again. But I think I agree with what Joey's saying. Is like right now there's a lot of things that they don't have in the game. And think if they did have emotes in the game, what could have been, the winning with Greystone. If you win 20 games of Greystone, you'll get the rock star. Where he's playing the guitar with his sword. You get that emote for free if you win 20 games with Greystone. That would be something that you would be, a reward you can get with these things later on. Right now, this is the only thing they have available, so this is the thing that we're giving us. But when other things become available, banners, if they put banners in the game, which I'm promoting, I want banners. I said it before, I'll say it again.
I want banners.
Put banners in the game. So give us, give us a glory, get that logo on a banner for a glory. If you win 20 games of Greystone, that you can get this unlocked as a banner. All about it. Give us that, because like you said, it's not just your menu homies that see it. It's literally everybody in game. When you get a kill, you'll be able to see that menu banner.
Yeah, I'm for that. As long as it's PCC is the first banner, I'll take that.
So where do I set up?
I mean, but think about that. Yeah. They could work with you guys. That'd be perfect to think.
Yeah,
they could work with you guys.
Finals winners.
The winning team gets their own logo for whatever PCC event that was. You guys can design one like PCC event whatever 24.
Oh, that
could be. And then all five, however many people are on that team, they all get that banner unlocked for free. Or whatever, that's their banner. It's an exclusive banner for playing PCC, and you guys can work with Pred in that situation, and that would be something that'd be really cool.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely look forward to something like that in the future, because I mean, we do have conversations together. We just don't talk about a lot of it. Obviously, I don't want to break connections or anything. So, they do want to do more. It's just figuring out exactly what that is. And, we'll see what the future has to hold for us and Fang Booth and, whoever other TOs are out there. So they definitely want to do more in support of us. And that would be really cool to see. I mean, just that post, the blog post was enough to get everybody excited today. So it's coming.
All right.
Fun to say. Any opposition go right in blog post?
I'm good.
No, sounds good.
Perfect segue to me.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You say, hey, that's what I'm here. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to point out, I like this blog post, right? I'm not going to sit here and read the entire thing. We'll make sure that a link is readily available for people so you guys can check it out. I'll put a little bit on the screen as we talk about it. But so they specifically start out by saying this isn't a traditional blog post that includes patch notes, etc. Right? It was just more of a let's share our thought process, right? That's basically what it came across as. Hey, this is just a written essay. It's not necessarily a show your work type of thing, right? And I mean, my general consensus is I liked it, but I have gripes about it, and I'll let you know what those gripes are as we go through. Medkit, what do you feel about this form of a blog post compared to the usual updates with a little bit of details?
I mean, I liked it. I'm just quickly looking through it now, but yeah, I mean, it's whatever. I read it and I liked it, and I kind of low-key knew what they were gonna be talking about, if that makes any sense.
I mean, yeah, because honestly, one of my major gripes about it is, personally, I don't see too much new information. It's specific.
Right.
Like, as far as everything, it was just kind of like reiterating everything in one place. Let's say people don't watch the Predcast, or let's say they haven't caught individual pieces earlier on. Just like as an official, hey, here's everything on one page of what's going on. Which I guess it's okay. Now, Bearded, I want to hear you. I actually want to hear from you, bruh. I never asked you a fucking question. How do you feel about season 2 being extended, bruh?
I have no issues with that. I can. All right, so I'm a part of the FTM Discord, right? And in the FTM Discord, everybody sees me over there as this Pred fanboy, right? And I'm not a Pred fanboy by any means, right? I am the most. I could be wrong with this. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Isn't Switzerland the neutral? You know, is it Switzerland or is it the other one? Anyways,
Switzerland neutral.
Yeah. I'm as neutral as could be with a lot of this stuff, right? I'm also a very glass half full type of person, right? So I was the same with Fault. I've been the same way with Predecessor. So I'm not a fanboy by any means in that situation. I'm more of a Fault fanboy than I am a Pred fanboy, right? I preferred that game over this at that stage. Now this is better than Fault in my opinion. But so in that situation, I'm okay with the extension. Like it don't bother me. We had a conversation in our little Discord chat about EA and some of that early access. I understand what early access is supposed to be. I don't care what the perception of what early access is. I know what early access is. And Joey will back me up on this and what early access is with a game and how long it's supposed to go and not the perception of what people think that it's actually supposed to be. Now, I understand the devs have to deal with that perception, but I'm not going to be the one that's going to push that narrative. So I'm okay with it being pushed.
Yeah, bro. My personal take on that, I hear you, right? Like early access is a specific thing, and them as devs, they don't necessarily even have to explain themselves, because it's like, hey, it's an early access. If you expected more, that's your own fault, right? But like you said, it's a narrative that's almost expected. That early access is almost like a testing phase of a finished product as opposed to a product built. And I think even as simple as like a big old reminder on the screen, and who knows, maybe it's coming with a new UI, right? Even a simple reminder of like early access, it is still being worked on. Report shit here if it goes wrong, or give us feedback here. Click on the link, whatever, right? Like some shit like that, just big, bold, or at the moment you log in, you have to click on that before you continue, or it'll load for like 3 seconds on that screen before it takes you to the next one. Something like that. I understand that they don't have to, but they really, like, especially with the Paragon community that expects shit to be handed to them on a platter, and they expect shit to be done overnight because it was done before. They have no idea how dev gaming works, right? Like, it's just, I feel like it's a community that needs their hand held, because 99% of them are typing console when anyway, even though it's been announced that there will be some sort of console extent this year, right? Like they're still typing. It's to the point that Predecessor themselves started making posts saying, "Stop fucking typing console when." It's if it's gonna happen that frequently, maybe you should just hold their hand a little bit more. Am I wrong for thinking that?
No, you're not wrong. I mean, you can definitely add more to it to announce that they're early access. I'm okay with them promoting that they're early access more than being more hidden with it. You know, I think you can only see the bottom left corner. It says early access, that it tells you the build that it's on or whatever. You know, like you could definitely promote it more and just to remind people that, hey, this is early access in that situation. But it's still
put it in the name on Steam. Predecessor early access.
It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna. You're still gonna have the people because AAA companies ruined the term early access. Look at Fortnite. Fortnite was early access almost 3 years going into it, and they finally dropped it because I think they were actually forced to by Sony or something like that because of what was going on. And they kept the early access tag because it's just easier for them to push updates.
Yeah, I was about to say, like we've dealt with it as Paragon players before. Epic does this as well, and it's a lot of things that AAA games do, and some developers take advantage of it. I love 7 Days to Die. That game has been in early access 10 years now. Like they're still considering themselves an early alpha or something.
So really,
yeah,
been out for that long.
So it's crazy. I was playing 7 Days to Die
10 years to die
first came out. Yeah, it's been pretty wild, but that is kind of the perception issue, right? Is people look at early access, and when you have other content creators from other games like Smite and stuff, I saw the video Weekend did when Predecessor first came out, and he's like, well, we know what early access means. It's basically released. But that's not always true. This is a brand new developer. They're going to have issues, and they need this time to grow. Not even just with game development, but learning how to manage a community. So I do like that aspect. You can definitely see that they want to do it, but this whole fixing the UI thing and getting it started, you can definitely tell. I knew this was coming, that things were getting pushed back. I just wish that they could give us at least hey, quarter 2, quarter 3, 2024 on most things, at least
some sort of estimate instead of just blindly following.
I liked it. Shout out to our boy F6. And we're going to go over his Reddit post here in a little bit too, though. Going over the Q&A that they had early today. He put in a thing in there recommending a percentage. Just give us a percentage of how much of the percent of the UI is finished. Where are we at? Are we at a 75%? Are we at 50%? Where are we at with the UI? So we at least have an idea. Okay, this is what we still got a little bit to go or whatever. And then they leave it on us to kind of speculate on what the time frame. But give us at least give us something. That's the thing with this blog post and with the Q&A, we got no new information. The only thing new we got was a code name. That's the only new thing we got. Other than that, nothing is new. Everything else is just the same old, just repeat. Hey, yep, we're working on it. Yep, that's in the plans eventually. That's somewhere down the line. PS8 will come out and we'll make sure we get it then. That's all it was. Everything was just pushed down. There was no actual time frame. No questions were actually answered. They were all politically answered, and this is not what we need. We need some good answers. I'm not saying you have to answer every question, but give us some answers. Give us something to eat on. We can't feed off of this.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things where failing to reach a date can hurt the faith of the community in you, but also not giving them dates constantly, not giving them a time frame on even the smallest of things sometimes, and just making them feel part of the conversation. That can also be an issue too. But I mean, that starts going into community managers, which I'm glad we finally got to see one of them after a few months of nothing. So I think someone else is trying to talk as well. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. I mean, what I was gonna say was a lot of it was just kind of a review of where things are, because a lot of people, I think when I saw, what was it, 200, 300 people kind of watching the live stream. I think it was a good live stream for those who are not as in the loop with Predecessor, because I'm sure most people don't actually watch Predecast, or the people don't get really kind of following the YouTube content creators, right? So it's a really kind of good overview of what's going on. It's really meant for those kind of audience too, but they actually did kind of got some new-ish info here and there. There was just a lot of new info, and there was a Reddit post that did a really good job kind of rounding it all up, essentially. But one thing that really kind of stuck out to me that I was actually really happy to see was apparently they already got the first stages of the casual game mode kind of done, and they're kind of already playing around with it. To me, that's actually really cool news, because I think we were kind of assuming that the casual game mode wouldn't be something that wouldn't come until much, much later, but it sounds like it's actually going to come much sooner than I think we realized. So stuff like that actually stood out to me in the live stream. So I think there was actually info in the live stream. It was just a lot mixed in with the info that we kind of already knew, right?
So let me ask you, Joey, because you're totally right. It basically was an overview. It's kind of hey, if you're not too up to date with everything, let's catch you up, right? Was this dev stream advertised in the game?
No.
I don't think so, no.
So it was only advertised on the socials where all the other updates consistently get advertised.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it kind of mean you're just doing a review for people that are already getting your notifications?
Well, like for example, we have like input come on. We talk about matchmaking, and we have like Blood Mortis came in, and he kind of gave us some little teas and whatnot, and like that kind of stuff don't necessarily go on the socials at all. Like a lot of that stuff is kind of like on the podcast, on some podcasts, maybe a random comment on the live stream, right? And people won't see that, so they would kind of compile all of that and put that on the live stream for those who missed that essentially. So
what you're saying is that Meta Studios should be then promoting the Predcast and putting it on their socials as well to help people see, especially the ones when you have Blue Motorius or you have Import. Like, hey, check our dev out here, they're on this show or whatever. That would be something. I mean, it doesn't have to be just Predcast. I know they're doing other shows. They did one. They sat down with another person. I can't remember who it was. Enigma. They sat down with Enigma. And had a conversation there. You can promote Enigma's content as well. It doesn't just have to be us. Like, I'm not sitting here just like wanting a handout for myself. Like, there's other content creators that are, that are sitting down with these devs and having interviews with them and getting good information. But the only way that we're getting this information is because the community is promoting it. You can promote this, this stuff as well and get, that information put out there.
We saw Fault make these exact same mistakes over and over again. They went from giving us a ton of dates and then missing all of them, and then they stopped giving us dates altogether, and then the community was just left sitting like, so is anything happening? And there has to be an in-between there. And I remember hearing about it on the Fault Partner panel, hearing about it on the Predcast before. They have to find a happy medium where they can give us actual information without setting expectations too high.
So I think the roadmaps are essentially that medium where we have a rough idea of when the season is going to end. We've just been told that it's going to be extended by another month. So that means that, was it in August? That's when the season 3 is going to start? Am I counting that way? But essentially, we have a rough idea of when season 3 would start, and from what they've been telling us, the UI should come with season 3. So we have a rough estimate when we're going to get the new UI. We just don't have a hard date, quote unquote. So even though we don't,
should be the start of season 3. Sorry,
September. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
But I guess so. The big thing is we don't know exactly how much percent the UI is complete. I don't know how you can like calculate that out. It's just kind of like me in scientific mind, but we do know that our expectation is that it's going to be done by the time season 3 launch. Is what they've been telling us.
So I'd actually so a quick little shout out. Predecessor did hire a new community manager, right? And we definitely want to give the shout out here or not community manager, different title.
Who are we talking about?
Vinks.
The Vinks? Oh, Vinks is I thought Vinks was, I could be wrong, sorry.
Marketing and community team is what it says on there. I just always assumed they're all at this point community managers because, right, at this point, like they're all kind of posting and doing stuff.
He's joined us as a junior marketing artist. Junior marketing artist. Title.
I see. So they did do a very extensive, really good read of an interview, and I'll just give you guys a quick little, like a glance as to what some of these questions kind of look at. So if you guys do get a chance, definitely check that out. Very good read. Welcoming somebody new to the team. I love when they do stuff like this. I really wish this would have gotten its own post instead of let's just throw this interview towards like the middle end of a whole bunch of other shit that we're going to talk about, right? Give your employee a little bit of a limelight, so to speak. So if you guys definitely want to check out those, go to the blog, read it. I highly encourage it. Some cool art gets posted. A lot of cool stickers coming our way. But yeah, I actually want to go ahead and transition now to F6 posts specifically, if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
Because one of the things that honestly surprised me. So F6, for those of you that don't know, solo laner, great content creator, fellow Floridian, and he made a Reddit post essentially, just kind of venting, right? In a proper way, might I add, because a lot of people when they just go to vent, they just kind of bitch and moan in the corner, right? Like he sat there, made well educated points that we're going to go over, and actually had a developer come in and actually be like, hey, so this is what's going on. This is kind of like a little insight from us to you guys, right? And shout out to Blood Mortius for actually going in there. But could you read this little post by F6 if you don't mind?
I got you. All right, F6 says, before I get into this rant, please understand I'm not hating or maliciously writing this post. I was waiting until the Q&A was over to see if you guys would actually address issues that are killing the player base, but instead we are hoping to, and in the future, for almost every single question. I understand you guys are aiming for perfection, but nothing will be perfect, and addressing the same things over and over will just lead to a stagnant game. We don't need another update on items and hero kits at the moment, in my opinion. It'll never be balanced anyways. So instead of complaining throughout the post, I'll address the main issues I see from not only my community, but others as well as has complained about. Hopefully you guys can give us a more in-depth answer or update to what is actually planned to fix these issues, and when is the aim for these to be implemented. Everyone can agree we didn't learn anything from the Q&A but codename Lizard. Number 1, matchmaking. We all know matchmaking is awful and has gotten nothing but worse since release. Other than saying the system is complicated, what is being changed about it, and how do you think the changes you are doing are going to be better than the current system you have now? When will this be implemented or a plan on being implemented? All right. Number 2, progression system. Is there a way for you guys to implement any type of progression while working on the new UI? Even something small to give players something to grind towards other than a useless icon. We understand the UI is a priority for the next big push to console and free to play. But what can you guys do for the community progression wise? And if there is, what is it? Can it be implemented soon? 3, Omega exclusive skins. Okay, so it was cute and all in the beginning, but we have not seen what you guys can actually do with skins besides Kira. And you guys are charging out the ass for some free Paragon assets that don't even change any visual effects or sound effects. We understand the monetization needed to sustain a business, but not dropping any new skins besides the Kira skin is out of this world, and you guys need to do better on that department. When will there be better monetization for recolors from Paragon assets? When will you guys be dropping new skins that are Omega originals to be purchased to show off the talent we know Omega has? 4, community engagement. You guys try to do these small community engagements like post and chibis. I don't know what that means, which are fun for little things. But you guys have not released one community event that has sparked the community to play the game more or over the other games. I feel like the community managers could do a way better job doing events for the community to be involved in, like getting together with PCC, doing our meta staff custom matches where players versus the team. Literally anything is better than what you guys have been doing. What are you guys going to do in the near future to increase the community engagement? Honestly, love the game, and I think the gameplay itself is in a great spot, but the lack of content is what's really lacking. Hopefully, we can get responses, but if not, thanks for reading.
Yeah. So, first of all, just shout out to F6. Like, just taking time just to be a concerned community member, sharing a little bit of what his experience is and such, right? Now, I want to ask real quick, before we read the responses by the dev and the back and forth and etc., do you guys feel this way? We can just go kind of across the board, maybe in the same order that we introduce ourselves. You guys kind of match those feelings? Do you disagree with some of the things?
I definitely agree that the game's balance is in a fairly decent state right now, and that focusing on things for player retention is a good spot to do it. where the game's at right now is a good time to be focusing on that versus, warping the way the game's played again.
All right.
Yeah, actually, I can say I agree with most of it. I think me, F6, and Crashy just had this conversation the other night as well. So I kind of knew a lot of the points that he was making and how he felt about it. But I mean, matchmaking is what it is, and it's gotten past the point of like, well, we're complaining about it to like, hey, when are you going to fix it? Like, what's the timeline for it? We know this takes time because I mean, if anyone remembers the ranked in houses, that kind of proved matchmaking isn't easy. Even the community can't do it properly. So, right. Like, yeah, it takes time. It's something we have to work on. It's a very like what Import described in the last Predcast. Was like a very basic casual matchmaking. So, I mean, hopefully after the UI, in the future, we start getting at least a night, like a weekly type of like ranked or something. So it can help satisfy us along with like progression or something. So I can definitely agree with him. Like, it's just, we're kind of in that spot right now. Nothing's going on. What are you going to give us in the future? Let us know.
Okay, Joey?
Yeah, I agree. Matchmaking is really wonky, and I've been saying this for like past month or so now that we like a progression system would definitely help a lot in retaining players right now. People in general just like to grind. Even after, let's say, they lost the game, how many times have you sat there and was like, oh, just one more because I'm close to unlocking this thing or that. So yeah, I do think progression system. That's like out of the issues F6 pointed out. Number 2, like, yeah, I agree. We definitely need a progression system, whether it's some like hero progressions, maybe that unlocks skins or who knows, something else. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on his post.
All right. Joey?
So I guess for me, I think the big thing is, yeah, I'd love to see progression system. I was kind of saying that I hope season 2 had that, but that kind of got pushed back. But I think season 3, we should hopefully see that, because I think that's going to really kind of bring some more life back in the game, 100%. Matchmaking, I think for me, funny enough, I'm kind of like really up there, quote unquote, on the ELO leaderboards. And I think this last week or two, more than half my games actually been pretty competitive. So I think people like to kind of bash on the matchmaking, but the matchmaking itself hasn't changed. It's just more like the play-based number got changed, right? And it's not just a kind of Predecessor kind of problem with matchmaking. You kind of hear that all the time in like Overwatch and League of Legends, where people like to use matchmaking as a scapegoat as to why their games are kind of like very bad. Well, a lot of times the player themselves could actually play that match way better. They just don't want to admit that and just blame matchmaking or to blame the bad teammates instead. So I definitely understand that for some people, depending on whether that matchmaking can be really weird, especially with party leaders. But I think in the case by case, I don't think every single bad match quote unquote is because of bad matchmaking. I think there are players that could play better, 100%.
Like to pose a question too. I mean,
yeah,
how much of the bad matchmaking, the player base drop, was due to like us complaining about stacks and then coming down so hard on stacks, whether they just, I think it was something about a bug or something as well on top of that or something. Yeah. But like, how much of that actually hurt?
I actually talked about this with my other the other day. Everyone was complaining about stacks, and then they went down hard on stacks, and now everyone's complaining they can't play with their friends.
I know, right?
Oh, this actually was Import said that. Well, Import said it, and I've seen RGSAs tell us partners that the stack multiplier is actually very minimal. So them putting a stack multiplier, and even Import said on the show here, was that last week or 2 weeks? Either way, it was last episode. So said there that stack it's not nothing to do with the multiplier. The matchmaking is just there is, and even Import knows like there's something with the matchmaking right now, but they're like, this is what we got and we're working on it, and we're actually gonna Blood Morris's reply does answer to the matchmaking a little bit, so we'll get a little further into that as well. So, Joey, were you done with your analysis of F6 post?
Oh, just one last quick comment is I think it's also the kind of thing that can make the matchmaking a little frustrating too is that since it's the only game mode, you get people coming in with different expectations. You get one group that's coming in just have fun, don't really care if they win and lose, and then you get one group that's going to be really competitive. And I think it's all another reason why matchmaking hasn't been great for a lot of people, because everyone has different expectations going into it. So that's why doing like a rank mode or doing the casual game mode that they start working on would be really great, and trying to like hurdle these groups of players into the more like places where they can have the expectation matched that the people they can match into, right?
That's an amazing point, Joey. Because we brought it up a little bit with little Sassafras, and bro, if you build a wonky item just because you're like, yeah, fuck it, let me see what that's like starting off with this item, and you're in the wrong lobby, bro, you will immediately like, all right, get me the fuck out. What the fuck is this guy doing? This guy's trash. Look at him. He's 0-1, 10 minutes, a stupid ass build. Get me out the fort. Like, it's just, you're totally right. It comes down to expectation. But I'll segue back to what I said earlier. Maybe Ometa should kind of put a little bit more of a billboard on there, setting that expectation. Like, hey, like real talk, don't expect highly super competitive matches. We're still working on it. We're a growing player base. Leave us feedback. We'd love to hear from all of you. You know, end it on a good note, progressive, constructive note, so to speak. But maybe it's because they're kind of leaving the expectation up to the player that then you're getting these two feuds, and then you get all these feedback, all these comments. It's like, yo, you need to fix this. You need to fix that. Homie over here is like, I just want to play with my friends. Like, you literally get all these opposing views because they arguably don't know what to expect from Ometa, at least not to a full extent. They're forming their own expectations. And then at that point, it's like you're setting them up for failure. Like, who's right? Who's right? Should they be playing sweaty and help out all the stats that Ometa's trying to help out, trying to acquire for the balancing and everything? Or should they be just fucking trolling and having fun with friends and not caring about winning or losing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's...
Yeah.
They really need to paint a clearer, let me not say paint, they need to create a clearer path for players to go down and know what road they're traveling down, instead of just giving them a car and be like, you like how it drives? This guy's off-road, this guy's on the fucking highway. Like, it's just all over the fucking place. Is that analogy good? Is that a bad analogy? I don't know.
No, I think it works. I think I could add to that a little bit. I mean, what would you say? That's probably like a community manager thing, right? Like educating the community, helping management, helping cultivate it and help it grow. I mean, we don't necessarily have a dedicated community manager in the PCC, but we take these steps to make sure people understand like what they're stepping into in our events. That yes, it is open, but you're not necessarily going to win every single match. Right? But you do have opportunities to win games. And it's the same thing with like game development. These community managers have to get involved. And to be honest with you, as a player, I just don't see it. I think a lot's been dropping. And to be honest with you, it's pretty sad when the CEO is the best community manager you have on your team. And I think that could fix a lot of our issues, is having more of the community managers engaging and having them on things like PREDCAST, instead of focusing more on putting devs in bad positions when they should have the opportunity to relax so they can work on the game.
Bro, you totally hit that nail on the head about Ace being yo, and like the moment Ace posts something, everybody's like, yo, hold on, listen. He's typing. Like, I really would like all community managers to have that form of excitement from the community, right? Like, the moment this person posts, like, yo, that shit's gonna be spicy, bro. Like, that's what's up. Like, we're excited about it. And I will say, I don't know if this is the community manager's fault or if it's just like maybe Ometa saying, hey, simmer down. We don't want to do nothing too crazy. Let's keep it reeled in a little bit, right? Whomever it might fall on. I think Import said it best when we last talked. Like, Ace pretty much posts what he wants when he wants, right? I want a community manager that has that type of power, but also uses it wisely, Like if the community manager decides to throw out a tease for the next character, fucking let him. YOLO. Like instead of codename Lizard, I would have preferred to have seen a random, no description, no nothing. Give me a random picture of scales and be like, what the fuck is that? Like, yo, what the fuck are they, like, what are they typing here? Like, what the fuck are they posting? They didn't even say anything. Like, you get me? Like, I want to see cool little shit like that. I don't necessarily just want to hear from a friend while I was at work and they said code name Lizard, bro. And I'm like, the fuck does that mean? Like, I'm from Puerto Rico. We see iguanas all the fucking time. What does this mean?
Oh my God.
Like, what does this fucking mean? Code name Lizard, right? So, again, I just want to, like, maybe have a little bit more fun with it the way that Ace does, but I do think that that's more of a team communication, who's allowed to say what, you know, like as far as like the information that gets output. But we can really see the difference when somebody just says shit because they want to and it's a leak versus, hey, this is a planned community event for Greystone. Again, good effort by all means. I didn't personally like it, but we can't deny the fact that they are doing a community event. Hell, even the weekly guide, which I kind of showed a little bit on screen, the whole too tanky weekly guide did not being a noob. I fucking love that picture, bro. Like the whole rampage, and it's like, yo, bread tip number 1.
Who doesn't like a fucking beefed out frog?
Hey, man. You got that one picture leaning towards you that he's a fucking frog. You take that one picture out of the equation, that's not a fucking frog. We'll talk about that later.
On that same topic, yes, he's a frog. On that same topic, though, Bubba Gump here says Sundown was great. Played the game and was out in front of the community. Wish he didn't leave. Sundown left. We're at that point. It is what it is, and I get what Bubba Gump's saying, but they need to have another player like that. I haven't even seen Nabori play the game in a long time. Nabori was kind of one of the would go out there and play the game occasionally as well, and be like, oh my gosh, look, one of these bigger names for predecessors is streaming. But there wasn't a dev. Like, we need to get another dev that's out there, and that streams the game is more communicative with the community. I mean, it's just a little thing that will help the community not think, hey, we're not getting anybody to talk to us. Like, at least that little interaction is there. So like that.
Yeah.
And I see what Stranger's writing in the chat, and Stranger brings up a fair point. In Fault, whenever they saw a dev playing the game, they'd be like, why the fuck aren't you working? Why aren't you making the game better? Why are you sitting here gaming, right? But I will say, specifically the Predecessor community, the core Predecessor community, the origins, literally got built off of Sergeant Smokey's back. Homie just streaming, coding, having fun. Be like, hey guys, what do you think? Like, it was honestly one of the coolest shit to watch ever, by all means, right? I
remember watching Sergeant Smokey work on the red buff. He was working on the red buff and how it would appear. And when it would appear, I don't know if you guys ever go, Joey, I know you've had to have seen it. If you ever go over to green buff, or you call it cyan, I think. If you go to green buff and you watch it, and when it first appears, it's got this rock crumble at its feet. And it comes up, and then that rock crumble goes under the platform, and you don't see it anymore, right? Well, that same rock crumble was on Red Buff's waist, and it looked like a tutu when he first coded it into the game. It's all right, we'd make it appear, and it'd appear, and it would be. He's we don't want that to do that, so he went in and changed the coding, and he's sitting there, he's chatting with us, the community, as we're waiting for this game to come out and be ready, and we're all sitting there watching this stuff go on. And the community was built that way in a sense. So I completely agree with what you're saying, Windu. And in my defense, or my argument against what Stranger is saying, a dev like Sundown, who's all about gameplay and working on things, you playing the game is getting more information. You're able, all right, let me go and play. You can play the game and stream it at the same time. You're just going to play and get more information. And while you're getting the information, you can be sitting there chatting with the community. You can do all of it together. It's multitasking.
Yeah. And one thing I'd also like to point out once again, that Sundown's actively developing the game. So it's another person that had a good effect on the community that wasn't a community manager. And like you said, the Warrior barely plays, things like that. Now, I don't know. Maybe they have different jobs and stuff. I love what they're doing on Twitter, like Wallpaper Wednesdays, and like what Windu mentioned with the guide to not suck, which I should probably read more often. But like all that's really good. I think they do a good job on that. I love the blog post and like giving support to the community. Like we saw Mad Cat in the chat, well, still in the chat, like showing his stickers off.
Beast,
yeah,
man.
Dude, that stuff looks so good. Like I saw it for the first time last Saturday when someone was showing it off to us. So like it's fantastic work, and I love to see people in the community get the recognition that they deserve for the work that they put in. So I like that type of stuff. They do well on that part. It's just the actual community engagement that is. They're
doing well on that part now. And I think after they hired that marketing manager, we are now seeing an uptick in how the Twitter is being used and what's going on. There's a step up here, and I love seeing it. Like this blog post. I could be wrong. I know Carrie's the one that wrote it, but I could be wrong. But I feel like this is something like, hey, the marketing manager, all right, let's put something out like this. And then so Carrie went and wrote one up of this whole blog post. So this is our monthly blog post that we're going to be getting now. And I think that's a change that the marketing manager like, hey, let's start doing something like this. We're going to do something once a month. Let's get it together. Whoever's going, then they appointed somebody to be in charge of it. This is their marketing and how they want them to help market this game. I feel like this is their impression that they're putting on the game. So, but we're getting completely off topic. So let's bring it back here a little bit here. Me and Windu still have to explain our thoughts on F6, and we still need to go over what Blood Mortius replied. So if we're at that point, I'm going to say what I agree with and disagree or whatever. I do agree that balancing is at a good point right now. I think 80 carries, probably ADC mains would probably want a little more love on their end. But I think we're still at a good spot where we wouldn't, like I agree with F6, we don't really need that much love showing to the balance team. If you could use resources from there to, take some resources out of the balance team a little bit and put them somewhere else, and let's start working on something else. Matchmaking, that's something we agree. We talked about last week. There's something not working correctly. It's not right. Is it player based? Is it whatever? If it is player based, then we need something like a progression system. And I agree with what Medkit was saying. I would love to have a progression system, whether it be whatever that might be. But I think even what F6 is saying, even right here, is just give us something more with the roadmap. Like, just give the community something small. Like, hey, last roadmap, we were able to play. As long as you were able to get levels, you were getting platinum. Every 10 levels you got after you completed the roadmap, you're getting platinum. We don't have that in this roadmap. So right now, if you get to level 35, you're done. And if you're already at level 35 like me, and I know Chickens is already there, if you're already at level 35, you have nothing to play for right now. There is nothing in this game for you to play for. You might as well shut the game down, go play another game until the roadmap, until season 3 comes out. They need to give something progression-wise for us to play for and to continue wanting to play this game. Besides the fact that we just love the game. There's people who don't love this game as much as me and Chickens do.
Facts.
So those people are the people that you need to keep here. Those are the people that you need to say, hey, if you continue playing here, we're extending season 2. Here's the extension of season 2. It's going to go to level 50. All right. If you reach level 50, here's, and in between, you got your 5 and 10 or whatever. You get a little more avatars, fine, but you give us something to play for. Oh, I got level 50. I got to max out the season roadmap. I got to max it out, right? We got to get there. What happens when I get to level 50? More platinum. I don't care if it's platinum or not. You got to give us something to play for. Right now, we got nothing to play for. They said in that Q&A, not the Q&A, the blog post, they said in the blog post that we're extending season 2 to give you more time to complete it. Me and Chicken's already completed it. I'm sure Joey's already completed it. I'm sure Medkit's already well, maybe not Medkit, because you just started playing back up again. So you might be getting there. Are you level 35 yet, Medkit?
Bro, I have no idea.
Right. So you might not be there. All right. But I'm saying, like,
I'm trying.
I know for sure me, Chickens and Joey are definitely there. We have nothing to play for besides making, Joey's got his content that he's making. Chickens is playing because he's only got a couple more, a month left, and he's got to go back to work, so he's playing while he can. And then I'm just here playing to play. Like, to be honest, if it wasn't Predcast tonight, I'd be playing Defiant. I have no reason to play Predecessor.
I will join you 100% on that.
I mean, that's kind of like just totally fine because that's normal for a lot of games. You kind of play it for a long time and then you take a break, go play another game, maybe come back to it later. So it's nothing too different with Predecessor, especially right now. Because right now it's kind of like early access game, so it's definitely really lacking a complete product in terms of like long-term investment into it, right? And I think that's the one thing people are struggling with. They want to treat Predecessor as their long-term kind of game, but with this early access state, it's really hard to because it's lacking those features we come to spec in AAA games, right?
So I would love to counter on Joey real quick.
Also, I'm level 29.
All right. Yeah,
I fucking can't with Medkit, bro.
You gotta grind, bro.
Yeah, you got some grinding to do.
I'm on it. I'll be on kick. Don't worry.
Bet.
There you go.
So Joey, I'd love to kind of counter that thought process because I'll bring it from my point of view, right? Like, you're totally right. It's perfectly A-okay to leave, come back. Arguably, it's to be expected. But I still would argue that every single developer out there, it should be actively trying to prevent that at all costs, even if it's in the slightest way.
I mean, that's why they're like going really hands-on with the progression systems. I think they mentioned they put a halt on rank mode because they really want to prioritize the progression mode right now.
That's top priority right now.
So they do realize that, and they are working on it. It's just
how long has it been top priority?
Well, I
don't know that.
I asked.
It's top priority after UI.
Let me rephrase. So we noticed that they kind of stopped the production of content, and then they're focusing on this, which is, again, it's a-okay. I fully understand that they're focusing on this in order to alleviate or make it a little bit easier to increase the product pipeline, etc. You know, like where they want to go. This is the essential step that they need to take. I fully get that. But I still strongly believe that even understanding that that's being worked on, there's something somebody somewhere could be probably doing to let's give these people a reason to play. Besides, guys, just hanging in there with us. We're almost to the point where we want to go. There's got to be something.
So I'll add on that and let Joey rebuttal with both of us. My argument against what Joey was saying is I get it. You're right. I'm not asking for an elaborate battle pass or elaborate season pass. Just give me something at the end. Like the first season was a good season. Like that, give you something. If you continued playing, you got something for it, right? And if we're talking about matchmaking being an issue, and we're talking about it's mainly the player base, well, that's kind of a player retention situation. It gives people to like, all right, hey, I'm loving this game. If I continue playing, I actually get something. If I actually continue playing, right now I'm getting nothing. Right?
Like chicken before the egg scenario.
Continue playing it. There's people that don't love this game as much as me, but they still really enjoy it. That are just going to like, you know what? I'm just going to leave. And then that makes the people that are still playing it. All right, well, matchmaking's bad because we had X amount of people leave because they have nothing that they play for. But if they did have something, they would still be here and play. Now, I'm not saying matchmaking would be perfect. I'm not saying that, but it would be better if we had X amount of people still playing.
Bro, I might be a minority, right? And I'm here being loud. But I'm of the group that I've been supporting Predecessor for so fucking long. I don't want to have more fun in another game. I don't want to have more fun in Defiant. I don't want to have more fun playing Street Fighter. But if you ask me right now, would I play Predecessor or TFT? I'm choosing TFT. Am I choosing Street Fighter? I'm choosing Street Fighter. Am I choosing Defiant? I'm choosing Defiant. And it's not because I don't want to support the game. It's because, quite frankly, at its current state, for me, I'm literally sitting here and I'm like, I'm just not having as much fun. And for people like me, grinding for a skin is fun. Even if there was a skin that cost 40,000 in-game currency and each match only gave me 50 in-game currency, you would see my ass grinding in there and be like, I'm gonna fucking get that skin, bro. Fuck that. Like, there's no fucking way next season is coming and I'm not getting that one skin.
Easiest way to give us a progression system. Give us an in-game currency for the shop. It'd be so...
Well, there's a lot, right? And again, we'll go back into UI. There's a good chance that they might not implement anything like that because, like they said before, they don't want to set it up for UI and for... But there's got to be something is what I'm saying. I understand everything that they presented. But I very hesitantly sit here trying to process and be like, they are doing absolutely everything they can towards retention already. I struggle to accept that. I might be wrong, but I genuinely struggle to accept that. And I honestly feel like there's a lot of people out there that feel that way. Maybe they're not educated. Maybe that road that we were talking about hasn't been laid out clear enough, and people still have this false expectation of what things could be. But I want to be able to have fun playing Predecessor again every single day, and Predecessor be the only game I want to play, regardless of Call of Duty, regardless of this, regardless of that, etc.
And I mean, I think a lot of people want that to happen. It just can't realistically because it's an early access product. I'm not using that as an excuse, but that's just the reality where this game is at. And that's probably why people are frustrated, because when you think of early access, you think of a very kind of buggy game, very like, okay, I can definitely tell this is not early access game, right? But when you play Predecessor, if you have someone play Predecessor for the first time, just focus on just the gameplay alone, that gameplay is way past early access day. That's like a fully released kind of gameplay kind of feel. It's just that really good. And I think that's something that's really always been really positive about the game, is the gameplay's always been super good. But at the same time, what's surrounding it, like the systems, the UI, the skins, or whatever you want to call it, are still not complete. And that's why it's still a quote unquote early access game. So I think a lot of people sometimes feel like this is a kind of more released game just from the gameplay alone, but it's really kind of far from that still. So I mean, I totally understand. Like I kind of want to play this game like only I want to just play casual game mode 24/7, play with viewers, play with my friends, and just kind of have fun with that. But I do realize it's gonna just take a little more time for this early access game to develop until we get all this features, all this quality of life systems back into the game, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, I mean, UI is what's holding everything up, right? And as soon as they get that out, then we'll be able to like discuss it. Like, are they pumping it out fast enough? Do they have the right idea? I mean, because a lot of things, people like, I got on today, I didn't get a chance to watch the Q&A live. So I jumped in, started asking some people that are streaming, Penzo, a few others jumping around, and everyone kept telling me it's a nothing burger. It's a nothing, right? I would have never known that they actually like mentioned that they are working on a new game mode. Like that's actually good news, right? So I think it's also on us to understand, like, it's like when your mom's like baking something, right? Like, yeah, you can get your hands on that batter and get a taste of something good really quick. But if you wait for her to finish it, it's going to taste so much better and probably not make you as sick. So like, like that's just what we have to deal with. Like we're like kids in a candy shop. Like, I mean, a lot of the player base, well, what's left of it right now, we dealt with Paragon for 3 years. We had a AAA company with far more money and just employees in general than Omega Studios, constantly saying, oh, we can do this, we can do that. We played casual mode for 3 years and got nothing out of it. Still had mirror matches, didn't get any real development to the game outside of, we had like mastery. Like, there's a reason why Paragon failed. So I think Omega is better than that. And it's in a bad spot right now because it's just a natural lull in development. We're in that process of the in-between of the work that there, but I think the skeleton is there and the base of it is there. And, we just have to kind of hope until they give us a reason not to, or they give us a reason, like, are they actually, it pays off for us.
Yeah, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and read out what Blood Mortius.
Not yet. So
okay.
No, Joey, I do agree with you with early. I am 100% on your side with the early access tag and what early access actually means. I get that. And I'm not asking for a progression system. I'm not asking for a mastery system. I'm not asking for these things that it takes time to create. I 100% understand that. What I'm asking is for something they already had implemented in season 1. That's all I'm asking for. Give me something more to play for in your season pass that you already have created, especially now that you've extended it. Hey, we're extending season 2. Season 2 is getting longer. Because season 2 is getting longer, we're also going to extend your level up system, level 35, and you give other people more things to play for, more things to grind for. Give them something to actually do. And that's something you did in season 1. You can do it in season. It's not like you're reinventing the wheel. It already happened. You can do the same thing here. That's all I'm asking for.
Every 10 levels after 35, here's 600 platinum.
Well, no, with them extending season 2, they would go bankrupt doing that. You can't do that. No, you have to push it to like 50 again, and then from 35 to 50 in between, you'd have to give us some avatars or whatever, or a skin here and there. You'd have to do something. That's fine. But if you gave everybody platinum after getting 10, you would break them up. No, you would go make them go bankrupt. That's what I'm asking for. And then again, my other point, I 100% agree with number 3, what he said, meta exclusive skins. Oh my gosh, show us that you could. You don't have to give us every exclusive skin you have or whatever. Just give us an exclusive skin that it's like, here you go. This is what we can do. This is our talent. This is what we got. This is what we got, working back here. Don't worry about the rest of them. When we're ready, when we release them, you're going to love them and make us fall in love with what you got. Right now, we got nothing. And he even says that you have the Kira skin in there. The Kira skin, it's okay. It's nothing about the Kira skin is like, I love oh my gosh, it's amazing. Nothing about it is like, this is amazing.
Cool. I think it's so cool.
I'll throw in there like
thoughts on his post. You go ahead, say what you want to hear, Windu, and then say what you want about his post, and then we'll move on to blah blah blah.
Yeah, you're chilling. I just overall I agree in general, right? But I will say, as far as what you were saying, as far as give us an exclusive skin, I still think regardless of what they do, the important part here is setting the expectation. Because the moment they give us an exclusive skin, now people want another exclusive skin next week or in 2 weeks or the next month. You get what I'm saying? Like if they came out, gave us an exclusive skin and said no more exclusive skins until full release. That's going to suck, but at least we know. I want clear black and white like details like that out of them. And I know they're trying to stay away from timelines. They can still provide very clear details. Like they could even be like, hey, so what patch are we in right now in Predecessor? Do we know? Number wise?
8 something, 8.1 or 8.2 or something like that.
So even if they said UI is coming in 9.0 and they're just like, bam, give me something. At least I know that the moment they say 9.0 is coming, that's the one I'm looking for. If I see 8.37, 8.38, whatever the hell number, then I know it's still not there. But at least I have a finish line to look forward to. Like I'm just trying to provide a little bit of insight because again, I think all feedback is appreciated, but I do want to try and keep it as constructive as possible when it comes down to these. But let's do this. Go ahead and read off what Blood Morty has replied, if you could here, Beard.
I got you. All right. Blood Morty says, sorry to hear the frustration and concerns, but they are certainly understood. One mind I'd like to first point out is that hero kits, balance and items, etc., all handled by a very small subset of people within the company, including myself. We work hard to provide consistent updates here to help mitigate the fact the other areas are not yet ready. Pulling us away from those not doing those would change nothing for any of the 4 things listed, nor many other areas of the game in terms of how fast we deliver or the quality in which it arrives in. So yes, just because these changes are occurring is not slowing anything else down. So it would not So it's not a point of contest. The other features and speed they're released. Okay, so before I go any farther, then that just tells me that they need to hire more. Right off the bat, that little description about hey, because that's referring to him saying that the balance is good. Stop doing balance and let's work on these 4 things, the 4 things he listed. And if pulling people from that isn't going to help out any of those 4 things, then that means we need to hire more and help those 4 things out, because those are 4 major issues, is what I get from that. As for those topics, matchmaking is actively being worked on by a team. Import has talked about this extensively on the most recent Predcast number 30, and you can check this out on Winduthemace's YouTube channel. Love that.
Shout out to him.
Love that. That is awesome.
That's probably the first shout out that I've seen written down outside of Discord, to be honest.
All right. Progression systems is our highest priority, as stated in the Q&A, and the main driver for these systems is UI. The new UI does need to be complete to introduce these features. It is not something that can be done directly adjacent to, but they are planned out and ready to dev the second it's ready. Okay, so what I read this and
progression systems haven't been started.
The glass half full of me is like saying that they have things that are ready, and it's like once the UI comes out, they can test it on the new UI, and once it's tested and verified, they can push it up. Like it's gonna come out pretty quickly.
Oh, bro, I didn't get that at all. When I hear they are planned out and ready to develop the second that the UI is ready, to me that means they have a plan, they want to execute it, they're waiting for the new UI to start. That's what I read off of that. I'd love to hear like what people think in the live chat and then the comments after that. But right. Yeah, worst case scenario, it means they haven't started on those progression systems yet, but they have a plan that they plan on executing. Best case scenario, they've already got some shit lined up and they're just kind of waiting to hit the gas pedal with UI.
Right. All right, we're working on our own skins, but we also want to release them at times that matter towards release in parentheses, and then show them off then. As stated in the Q&A, we're dripping in the older skins in the meantime until that point to bring the content in over time, rather than all at once. Skin creation also currently detracts from new hero creation, so we have to be careful how many resources we pour into it. Again,
that just adds to they need to hire more.
Yes,
right there, what he just
there's
said.
that as well. But again, I think you need to bring out one awesome fucking skin, and show, hey, this is what we can do. Just to give people all that, like, all right, I have confidence in this team. I know they can do some great shit. Right now, we have no clue what they can do for skins. Right. And again, I'm not bringing it up to, compare directly, but look at Paragon the Overprimes and their skins. Right. I know they're working with Netmarble and I know they got stuff going on, but like that's the competitor in a sense. We need to make skins that are close to that. I'm not even saying exactly that, but close to that. And right now, the only skin you've shown us is Kira, and Kira's nowhere close to what they have over at Paragon Over.
I would like to point out that all 3 of Kira's skins are original Oneida Studio skins.
Fair.
Sure.
That's a good argument.
And
I don't know if it helps the quality aspect, but good argument.
All 3 of them are nowhere close to what Paragon Overprime has.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, when you start out making people pay $80 to $100 for to play ranked, you could probably afford some of that, especially when you're back with one of the biggest companies in South Korea. But I mean, the skins are an issue though. Like the pricing is bad, things like that. But to be honest with you, I'd rather have new game modes. I'd rather have progression. I honestly don't care about skins. They look nice. They look great. Yeah. Like give me a skeleton Gideon. I'm fine. Anybody in the game would love that. But
I agree with you that a new game mode is definitely more beneficial in the situation. But think of it as somebody's coming to you and they're giving you an application, right? A job application. They're all right, but they completely missed out. They didn't fill out the one section, right? They literally just like, hey, we haven't even showed you this section. We got nothing to do. I'm not even gonna, I have no record. What's the word? When I haven't filled a job application in a while, but what is it when you put people's names down for them to call?
References.
References. I have no references here. Like they're not showing you any references. Like right, or the references they do have are just like when you call them up. Like don't hire that person. Right. Well, that's in sense what we're looking at with Kira skins. Like that's your one reference. Is like okay, that's this. Okay, like show me something.
So what
I'm saying.
Yeah. What's something that kind of I'm learning for the first time out of Omega. I didn't personally think ever that a skin creation also slowed down their new hero creation. I don't know if it's because the same person that creates a hero model is creating also the skins model, maybe
3D.
Yeah,
artist,
like
same 3D artist that does the skins.
Maybe somewhere along those lines. Like in my mind at least, and again, this goes back to the expectation that I apparently clearly had falsely implanted in my mind. I really thought those were two different people. Person working on a new hero, and the person just out there. Like I always thought they had somebody in the background making tier 1 skins, tier 2 skins, tier 3 skins, and they were just kind of holding them in. Learning that their skin production gets slowed down because of new heroes is honestly very interesting. Yeah, and the fact that they're just giving us a new hero every season, how much effect is it? Go ahead, Joey.
Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. It comes down to like coding and actually making animations. Because when we saw the Bellico skin, that was some new animations that going with that, right?
Yeah,
so the
that was
same
cool.
person that makes the new animations are making animations for these new heroes. They're coding the models, making sure the hero model is working how it should, right? So in my head, it makes sense that if you spend too much time making skins, that's like some manpower that could be used on making new hero models instead. In that case, right?
How about new skins that don't have VFX, tier 2s?
So,
with skins and like game development, it's not like it used to be, right? When we played like Nintendo 64 and stuff, it wasn't just like a wrap that you threw around like a polygon. There's a lot more into it. They have to test each skin, work on each skin. Every game has to do it, because you have to make sure there's no clipping issues or the skin doesn't cause something wonky to happen, because, you know, it's not just like what they're wearing that's changing. You're changing how like designs on their weapons and other things like that. So there's a lot that goes with it. It's kind of like, hey, just hire more devs or have devs move from this place to another. That's not how game design works. Like you have level designers, you have pre and post production design. There's different levels to designers, and they don't all do the same thing. They have their very special thing they focus on. And then you do have your leads that have done all of that, but they have a lot of experience in the field. And devs are expensive. I mean, that's one thing I learned in school, is that they cost a lot of money. And that 20 million can go away pretty quick when they need it. So,
yeah. I can agree to that as a software developer myself.
Yeah.
Great insight.
All right, this topic, I do not have any details on myself community-wise, but we have been actively expanding the community team recently, which has led to us starting up more things like the dev Q&A from today, as well as the Greystone event. More things will be coming as stated in the dev Q&A. I completely agree with you that many areas are and can be lacking. I will reiterate from the stream today that it makes sense. There is a decline when we lack all these features. We are a true alpha in that sense. We're missing core features that drive players to keep playing consistently. They will be made in time though, and before we full release. Till then, your feedback and passion is always much appreciated, and hope you're able to stick with it, or will be excited when all these features are introduced. Thank you for the post, and please always let yourself be heard whenever displeased. I hope the rest of your week goes well, and you have a lovely evening.
Or shout out to Blood Mortys. What an epic way to end that post, bro. Like kudos to him, kind of going on community management, like kind of PR mode, you know, let's settle down this fire and actually address concerns and everything. Because as far as I'm concerned, he doesn't have to. That's just more of him doing it because he wants to, right? Oh
yeah,
major shout out to him. Like I think this was amazing answers, and Bill Sir over here gave amazing insight that honestly just gets forgotten about so easily, as far as how complicated things are. Now, I want to pose a question to everybody here, and I'd love the chat to engage. So we know everybody always talks about, oh, they have money, why don't they just hire more people, right? Now, should Omega Studios have a safe game plan to make sure that this game is up and running for the next 5 years? Or should they be riskier with their investment and hire more people, spend more of the budget, but then risk maybe only 1 or 2 years? Now, I know what my answer would be as a business person, but I'd love to hear what everybody here has to think.
So I'm just a little confused on how you phrase that question, only because I know they're always constantly hiring new people on board. So they're all doing that. So I'm just, are you saying they should hire way more people?
Yeah, I'll specify. Let's say, I don't know the exact number. Let's just say they have 50 people right now. Let's say they increase their team to 200 people. And they're like, hey, we're going to get the rate of speed that people like Crashy want. We're going to get that AAA rate of speed. But that's also going to mean we're spending 4 times well, not 4 times, but yeah, essentially like 4x the total amount of money. That's money being burned in order to get that production. Now, at that point, would people want a game that they want to succeed so bad to be so risky?
I personally don't. I want an increase. I want a not a minimal increase, but a decent. I don't want a huge increase. I don't want that 200 devs on there. Doubling it, going from 50 to 100 would be like, okay, here we go. Now we can work with this, and this is something we can like, all right, and just have it be things will come out at a little more of a decent pace, right? Right now we're walking, right? I don't need us to sprint. I want just a little more of a jog, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't see that, I don't know, analogy. Seeing as we don't know what situation they're in as a company, like, it's hard to speculate what I want them to do, because I want them to do what's best for us as a community. And they know that based on where they're at, what risk they could take. If they're not taking the risk that would give us better quality, if they're playing it too safe, I want them to go more risky. If they're already being too risky, maybe I wouldn't mind them slowing it down. I want this game to succeed. So that's my 2 cents. I want them to do what is best for the company so that they can give us the best product.
Interesting. Okay. Joey?
I mean, I guess I'm just trying to understand your question, because like going from 50 to 200 people in your example, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. Because
rapid expansion,
because like
being very aggressive.
All those people, and the people you're hiring, are they actually passionate about the game, right? Because I think the one thing they kind of emphasize a lot is that they're all very passionate about the game, and the people they want to hire are passionate people. So if you go and quadruple that size, and all of a sudden you got a bunch of random strangers, right? It's just, I don't know, like
that's a fair point.
I don't think they should do quantity. They should do quality over quantity, which is kind of like a cliche kind of saying, but I think
less employees, but maybe they might have to spend more money for that one high quality employee. That sort of ordeal.
Yeah, like yeah. So it just really depends on how. I mean, I have no idea business wise what's the best approach, right? But I imagine that you never want to rush it. You want to gradually grow over time, making sure you don't rush the process. Because I think when you rush the process, that's when you can start to get into like some weird situations behind the scenes of developing games.
That's a fair point. I will say the only thing I would expect though, Meta, regardless if they're at 50 employees, 100, 200, or just 12, their leaders are how they manage. They should have a management pipeline. They should have organized, for example, lead talks to the juniors, juniors talks to general staff, etc. Right? Like they have their structures throughout to keep it, regardless if they add 3 new art designers, those art designers still report to one person. So I don't doubt that they would be able to manage, but you bring up a great point as far as whether it's going to be just somebody looking for a paycheck as opposed to somebody that's passionate about the game. And I would argue that passionate about the game would take forever as opposed to just finding somebody that can do the job. Go ahead, Chickens.
And there's those jobs that are perfect for people that are just wanting a paycheck. Get the small things done. They're not making the decisions. They just have to rig it up so that it works. Whatever. And you don't need passionate people to do everything to make a game. You just need passionate people to steer the game and make the decisions.
The captain has to be passionate, not necessarily the guy scrubbing the decks.
Exactly.
Just Flo actually brings up a good point where he was saying isn't hiring people difficult, especially when it comes to people taking a leap on the what if product. Because technically this is an early access game. People that are looking at this company, at this game, they don't know where this game's going to head the next year because it's not fully released, quote unquote. So it's kind of like taking that jump of faith to work at Meta Studios, right? Because you don't really, you kind of getting the bare bones of the game right now. You don't know where it's going to head in the next 2 years, right? So that could be another thing to consider too, right?
True, that might be a big obstacle as to why people might not consider. I will say the only thing I can think of to incentivize people to take a higher risk on a what if company is literally just to spend more money, which might not be what they want to do, quite frankly. But like if somebody told you, hey, come work at this what if company for $10 an hour, you're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know about all that, bro. I'm not feeling too hot. Come work at this what if company for $40 an hour. I'm sorry, did you say when? Hold up. Like, bro, what toilet do you need me to clean? Bet. You know, like, granted, money talks, but at the same time, that's a great argument that I don't think we'll ever get the answer to, and we won't able to settle the debate. The fact that more money could incentivize those people, but then it comes down to how much do they really want to spend? The argument over quality over quantity. Medkit, what do you think about that situation? As far as would you want them to be like ultra, like, or take much more risk, or be much more conservative? Let's just say if you had to choose. I want to challenge your thought process there. If you had to go A or B, not in between.
What is A and B? What was the question? Just to reiterate.
A, they're just taking a lot more riskier choices, hiring more people, producing more content. You know, just kind of like, hey, we're going to ramp up the speed of the game and spend more money. Let's get it going. Let's get to EA. Let's get to free to play full release as quick as possible. Do what we got to do to get there, whether it be contracting, whether it be full hire, whatever it may be. Option B, let's keep the slow and steady road because we know we'll get there eventually. And we save more money along the process, quite frankly.
I'm going to have to go with option B. Just because I like slow and steady. That's just how I also operate myself. And yeah, I mean, option B. That's all I can say.
Fair. What do you think, Bearded?
I'm sorry, I was reading chat. What was option A again? Option B?
No, you're good. Riskier development. Like, let's just go balls to the wall, get to free to play, full release as quick as possible. Let's hire who we need to hire, get it done. Or option B, let's take it slow and steady. Let's focus on quality, you know, like, let's not necessarily go crazy spending money. Let's play it safe.
If those are my only two options, option B.
Okay.
There we go.
No, I'm sorry. How come? Why B?
Oh, how come?
Yeah.
Oh, option B, because the fact that I just feel like slow and steady. It's the tortoise and the hare conversation. You know, when we're looking at the end of the race, the tortoise wins, right? You get sidetracked or you stumble or something happens when you go too fast and you don't take your time, and then we have more issues. So you take your time, you make sure you don't stumble, make sure you don't have those, you don't get sidetracked, you have that stuff. You'll get there at a better time, and you'll actually complete the race instead of just not finishing completely. So that's why.
Okay, so I can tell you that if it were my company, I would lean more towards B, because I'm not about the boat of let's just spend money and hope that it gets us to where we need to, right? Now, I will say I worry, because I honestly feel like the average, like what we see in most games nowadays, at least, and what the majority of people expect is balls to the wall. We're either going to make it or we're going to fail in the first 6 months. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like almost every single major game released nowadays, regardless of beta, alpha, early access, early or whatever, I feel like it's almost ingrained in people's heads. When we get the fully released game, it either works or it fails. for a lot of people, there isn't that whole, hey, like this game, maybe I can try this game in another 3 years. For them, it's just either now or never. Yeah. That's the part that worries me, and that's just like.
So Ray's in chat and put something up about hiring, and I think so. Right? It says, side note, but a lot of people in the industry really value the freedom of working indie and having more autonomy or / variety in workload from what I've seen. And that said, for what it's worth. So that's an interesting, little comment. Like you could be a developer and you go work with a AAA company, and then this is your work. You're doing this nonstop, and this is your job. You go to work and you do the same every day. Or you work indie, and it's like, all right, hey, you can work with this company, you work with that company, you work with this company, and you got like 4 different things on your table, and you're doing a couple different things every day. Like, okay, let me try this out. Let me work on this. And then your day is not the same. So there's things like that you got to look at as well with hiring people and what people want to hire for. So a little interesting fact, I thought.
Yeah, I think I would throw a curveball at that one, though, because I don't think either option's good for them. I think they are doing option B right now, and it's too slow. It's in a sense, yeah, like they need to be a little bit riskier in some senses, because here's the deal. When you don't give out dates, that means you're not giving dates to your devs, and they already deal with remote working. And that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. And when you're not giving people hard times, you're not giving them dates, they're not going to get it done.
Well,
you're taking a huge risk in a sense of lazy.
I do think that they do have dates I think the team does have dates, right? I do think there's that. We as a community aren't getting those dates, but I agree with what you're saying. And Soul Reaper said that in chat. Some type of between this A and B that Windu was talking about, some type of middle ground is the best. Can't be willy-nilly with it, but also can't be too slow that you don't have a player base by the time it is finished. So that's what I'm saying. If you give me those are my only 2 options, A and B, I don't have a C to pick from, I'll pick B as my option, tortoise in the hare situation. But I would rather have the C and that middle ground of what Soul Reaper's saying. Like you do have to take risks, but you don't need to go balls to the wall risky. You just got to not show your hand, but play a little bit harder.
That's calculated risk.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of the reason why I wanted to pose that question, and hopefully it was thought-provoking, at least to a certain extent, is because we all would understand by saying we would rather them take it slow and do it right. But at the same time, we're all here saying we want more now. You get what I'm saying? So we understand them, but at the same time, we have our own wants. And I think it's very, very easy to get overwhelmed with our emotions of what we want to accomplish, or what we want to receive. And it's easy to forget as to, hey, if this were your company, how would you react? And I think this is very good feedback that we can provide to the company, and simultaneously, just kind of get thought-provoking conversations, get the community to kind of see, like, hey, you know what? Maybe it is a little bit better that they're taking it slow.
I mean, to almost counter that point a little bit is this game, we've been hearing about it for a long time, and it's only been out for 7 months to where people can play, but it is out now where people can play. You have to keep the players interested because they can play it now. If they decide this game isn't interesting, they're not going to play it. They're not going to come around for free to play. It's you have to balance that. You have a community now with expectations versus before, when it was oh, this game is going to be great, slow and steady. You got to go a little bit more risky now. You got to keep these players happy. You got to keep content coming, or the game's going to fall flat before it even reaches the goalpost.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's this is just like a natural lull in things. You're going to, at some point when you do early access, that's the risk that you take of losing players. And it's whether or not you can get them to come back. And it doesn't take too long. Because, if this keeps up through the end of the year, they're not getting those players back. But if it, into season 2, the UI comes out, all of a sudden we're getting like weekly ranked, we're getting, progression systems, we got some new super awesome skin coming out. Like all of that will bring so many people back, and they won't even, like, none of us will even remember these conversations. We'll sit there all loud and proud, like, I stuck with Predecessor, I didn't worry at all. Like it's just kind of how it could work, but it just really depends. I think towards the end of the year we'll know whether this is a game that's going to make it or not.
And I will say, credit to Predecessor, they have come out with a bang. This game has been non-stop content up until this point. Non-stop content up until this point. It has been every 2 weeks, balance updates, new modes. We got AI mode within 2-3 months of the release. We got a tutorial in the game, which kind of Shadow got added, and they don't really talk about it. I don't know why. And we got co-op versus AI. They even tried out the rank mode Friday nights, which I thought was kind of interesting. But I mean, they're doing things, and they've been at such a consistent pace. I think that's a lot of where this feeling of a lull is coming from, because they said we're pulling back and working on something awesome. And now everyone's like, oh crap, I'm not getting that fix every 2 weeks that I was getting before. I'm not getting that crazy amount of content, just new stuff to play around with in this game. And yeah, I think that's a lot of where the complaints come from. The game is still super fun to play, even with the matchmaking. I go in there and I feel like a badass with Kira, their new hero, their original hero. They nailed it with her. Greystone is interesting. I don't play him very much, but what I have played with him, he's fun. His ultimate's really cool to react with. Like, this game has done something amazing, and the progression systems are definitely needed and helpful. But I really like, if you're someone out there thinking, oh, I can't, there's nothing to play for, go into a match and just have fun. Like that's what I do every night. I hop in and I just have fun. I play the game like it's supposed to be played. If you're not competitive, do not competitive stuff. Turn your chat off. Mute everybody as soon as you enter the game. You don't have to worry about people flaming you if you do that. The option's there. Like, you can make this game as fun as you want it to be as a single person.
Fair.
That's just my 2 cents.
Fair point. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and start doing our outros. Medkit did disconnect. Hopefully he'll be back in time here towards the end of the outros. But let's start at least in the same order that we introduced ourselves. Tell people what you got going on.
I'm sorry. Before we do that, I want to go over on that, pull up the blog post. I want to highlight what the Bane, Mr. Bane, they gave Medkit time to go back to you. I want to highlight what Mr. Bane did. I want to highlight what Mad Cat did. I know we talked about Mad Cat earlier, but it's also even PCC's on here. Part of this blog post. This is one of my favorite part of this blog post, and that Seb skin is fucking amazing. So this is there's a shout out to the community here, and that's what I love. That Fault did this stuff as well, and I really loved how they did this. And I hope with this new marketing person we got going on, they're going to continue doing this, because I didn't know this Seb skin existed, or this concept, and I love this concept and the whole point of this. And it says, I think it says in the post that with this, with each stack, you get more eyes. So the more, as you grow your eye, you more eyes you get. That would be pretty fucking cool. So that was awesome. And then our boy Mad Cat, this guy's been posting stickers and these emotes in my Discord. Hey, you want to see another one? I mean, he'll be showing me another one. And he gets these ideas from certain memes and stuff like that. So Mad Cat does a great job with these. So huge shout out to him for these. That's awesome. And then here we are. We got Jolster here with us. Shout out. This is shouting out the team that won, right? Yep.
Even worse timing.
Even worse timing. Yes. That name, as I'm looking for a name, right? I'm looking for a name, and that name just reads as it just fits in a sentence. I'm like, all right, even worse timing. Actually, the PCC tweet that they won it. I read it. I was like looking for a team name. I'm like, all right, even worse time. I'm like, what do you mean even worse timing? Like, what do you mean? Well, what is the worst timing? Whoever won this, like, it was bad timing for them. But okay, so yep.
Yeah, it's actually the funny. That's actually the funny part about that team is like part of it was the old bad timing team that was like dominating the comp scene. So now they're calling themselves even worse timing, and they got even better players like Ray playing jungle. Like I mean, they just have the best at like every level. It's definitely a team that you don't want to go against. So, but yeah, it's a great job with them, and shout outs to Hot Sauce for that graphic. He made that himself. Fantastic work for him. I'm glad like that ended up in a blog post done by Omeda. Like that's really awesome for him.
Super cool.
Right. That's what I want. I just want to make sure they got a good shout out. I want to give them a good community shout out here on the Predcast. So I want to make sure we had that time for them. So yeah, now we can do our outros. Sorry. I know we're on a time crunch.
Yeah, you're chilling. So let's go ahead and do the same order that we ourselves in the. Tell people what you got going on, where they can follow you, kind of.
All right, that's right. I started in the beginning, right? So I'm Dulcer23. Like I said in the beginning, I was the creator of PCC. I'm now the head TO, kind of run everything and with conjunction of everybody else. You can follow us at PredPCC on Twitter. You can do the same thing. Look for us on YouTube. Prime Championship Circuit or at PredPCC. You can also check out our Discord any point in time. We do have signups coming up towards the end of the month, so keep an eye out for that mention for a $3,000 tournament coming up in August. It'll actually be our last for a few months while we start working on upping the broadcast in the future.
All right. I know you guys are just community based, right? But I have to ask real quick: is there plans? Like, you guys are wanting to go big? Are you plans of actually getting an actual desk and having 3 people on site together and doing something like this?
Yeah. I think we saw a copy pasta earlier about giving us 100K. So like, if we get that, I'd be more than happy to like put together an actual desk. Like, Joey, you're invited.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So
chickens.
All right, I am More Live Chickens. I play Predecessor. You can follow me on Twitch at More Live Chickens. You can watch my YouTube videos at More Live Chickens on YouTube. Pretty simple.
Nice.
Yeah.
And if it's a community and for the devs?
I love the community. I love the devs. I like the game. Keep it up.
All right. Medkit, welcome back.
Thank you. My internet died. I had to reboot real quick, but I'm back. I'm Medkit. You can follow me on Twitter. You can check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@amedkit. And now I also stream on Kick, so kick.com/amedkit.
Are you gonna do a TikTok soon? Because you mentioned you've been doing shorts every day on YouTube, and that's the perfect format for TikTok.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you might as well just do both. Post them in the same.
Yeah.
The only thing, and I could be wrong, the only thing I don't like about TikTok compared to shorts is you can schedule a short. TikTok, I don't think you can schedule a TikTok.
Yeah, you just gotta post it live.
That's a deal breaker, because I have maybe 20 shorts just scheduled for like the next 20 days. That's how I do mine.
Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. There could be a way to do it. If there's somebody who's a better TikToker than I am, hit up at Medkit and let them know what's going on. But other than that, I could be wrong. So, Joey.
Yeah, it's just usually over on YouTube. If you guys kind of want to like, I do a lot of like kind of unique builds from time to time, like very kind of fun off-meta stuff. So if you guys want to see something you probably have not seen anywhere else, my channel probably has lots of that. But we just have a really good time over on my commentary videos. I've always just been really passionate and have a ton of fun making videos daily.
All right. I have to ask you, have you played Howitzer Jungle yet? Let's see that video next.
No.
Look at him. He's like, shit.
Could you imagine putting that freaking bomb out there and knocking them into the jungle like before you like, all right, that's the gank. Is like you get pulled in like, oh shit, what happened? It could happen. I mean,
I tried to invade jungle and it was probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So I would not recommend playing the mid laner in the jungle unless you're like Countess.
All right. So I'll be looking for the Howitzer jungle video. All right. As for myself, I'm going to drop it in chat here real quick. This is our last Predcast on Twitch. We are now fully converting over to Kick, and I will be streaming on Kick Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and that Wednesday it will be the Predcast. So the link is there in chat. So go ahead and click that link. Follow us over there if you guys want to continue getting live content. Really appreciate it. I think we're up to 60 or something like that. Yeah, 61. Look at that. We keep growing. So up to 61. So keep growing over there. That'd be great. But as for myself, I am getting a lot more active on Twitter. So you can follow me over on Twitter as well. That's T_B_Wolverine. I'm getting more active on there, trying to get more, I don't know, just try to grow on another platform besides just streaming. Because editing a video is just not time. It's a little more time consuming than I'm able to put in right now. So I'm able to be on my phone a little more often and not edit a video. So I'm trying to work on that. We can grow on another platform. At least that gives us a little benefit. So you can follow me over there as well. But other than that, excited to keep bringing these to you. Next week's episode, we're going to be going in deep on Lizard Man. Just a little heads up.
Lizard Man. I don't think man's part of the name.
Well, they said he's a he, so I'm putting man on there.
I mean, okay, there. All right. But yeah, so again, guys, if you guys want to watch it live, make sure that you go follow Bearded Wolverine on Kick. We still are going to post these after the fact on YouTube. And I just want to say thank you, everybody watching, everybody has stayed this long. Again, if you guys did do so, please type out a GG, whether it be at the live chat or in the YouTube comments, just to let us know that you made it this far. And you guys know I'm always going to try and bring up thought-provoking questions. You guys know I'm always going to try and get conversations going. If anybody gets butthurt about what I said, then check yourself. But quite frankly, I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much, everybody on this cast, whether it's our usual co-hosts, Joey, Medkit, and me and Bearded are pretty much always here. And then Joel, Sir, and Chickens, thank you so much for joining here, guys. I know it might not be, some of you might not like being on the limelight, showing your face, but we appreciate it, definitely. And we look forward to just providing more content for you guys down the road. Hope you enjoy it and keep in touch. Peace. See you on the next one.
Peace.